Clive Barker Podcast Audio Commentaries.
Thanks to your generous donations to our Kickstarter funding campaign, Clive Barker Podcast presents Fundraiser 6, Bill Seeker. Hey, welcome. This is episode 222. Commentary on the chilling adventures of Sabrina, episodes 3 and 4. So if you followed along with our last one, we did episodes 1 and 2, and now Jose is back.
Yay! I'm here. I'm back.
And Rob is here.
Yes. Hello, guys.
And,
Hey.
David couldn't make it. So,
That's too bad.
So we'll continue on with the chilling adventures of Sabrina. So, and Jose, you got caught up and watched the first couple episodes.
Yes, I watched the episodes that we're watching today. I browsed through the fourth one and I watched 1, 2, and 3, and it's fun. It's a fun show. There's some inconsistencies in terms of storytelling that I feel like I'll get into that eventually. But it's pretty funny. I mean, it's the story of a half Jedi, half Muggle that discovers she's the one, and then she's got a high midichlorian count apparently, and now being a witch is kind of genetic in this universe. And basically, you have to sign your soul to the Dark Lord, and we're all, moving towards her dark baptism. That's going to happen on Halloween night during an eclipsing blood moon of all things. It's in the middle of the woods. So I'm looking forward to that episode.
All right. So who wants to? Is everybody? I've got it paused on the Netflix logo.
Same here.
Episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Jose, you want to do the countdown?
Sure. And I just want to bring up to your attention that episode 222 is just a third of 666. So here we go.
Yeah.
For the third episode of Sabrina the Witch.
The Dark Lord will be pleased.
The Dark Lord. Yeah. Okay. So I hope everybody has it on Netflix, and we're going to count down from 3, 2, 1, play. Whoa, that was loud. So really cool logo there.
Yeah.
And apparently this belonged to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, and I guess this series has had a long. This property has had a long run with Archie Comics back all the way to the 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, she appeared for the first time in the Archie Comics, and I think at the time, which is weird, she was actually not born out of a warlock and a human mother, but she was actually created after a bunch of potions by her aunts, which is, so they've created her in the comic. They later retconned that and said that she was a half witch. So,
that's probably more interesting anyway.
Yeah, and the familiar was always a kitty cat.
Yeah,
it just didn't speak in the first few incarnations of Sabrina the Witch.
And in that, was it a show on the Disney Channel? I don't remember. I mean, I remember that it existed, but I never watched it. But the cat could talk then.
Yeah.
It's like a 96 TV show.
Yep. And now we have the Netflix show. Netflix is swiping up all these properties and just bringing them back. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And this is true to the current Chilling Adventures of Sabrina comic, I think. I mean, I haven't read it, but...
Yeah, it is. Which was released in 2014. That's the one this is based on.
Oh yeah, so she just got a chance to see the Dark Lord himself possess Balki Bartokomous.
Yeah. So you saw that show before, Perfect Strangers?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that when I was growing up as a kid.
Oh wow.
Da-da-da-da-da. America or bust.
Yeah. On the wings of my dreams.
Yeah. And it's funny that this teacher, nobody notices that she's completely changed her demeanor, her appearance, and how she speaks.
Yeah,
But, you know.
yeah. She was so mousy before.
Oh, I hated when my aunt or my mom would like use spit to clean my face.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandmother did that a lot.
She sticks her fingers in her mouth and puts spit on things a lot.
Maybe she's hexing them, or it's a way to control them with a
Well, she
spell.
does it on the mirror too, so that she can see into Sabrina's room.
Oh, there's Iggy. And for those who forgot or are watching this with some time in between instead of binging it like you should for all of Netflix shows, they run a mortuary house, right? They run a mortuary, a funeral home. And so this guy showed up and he was murdered with stab wounds.
Yeah.
And this guy works for Sabrina's aunt, and he actually works on the dead bodies. And he thinks that the dead body might have been a wizard that was murdered by a witch hunter.
Yeah, and he's kind of old. I think he's like in his 70s or something. But since he's a witch or a warlock, he doesn't age. And his last name is Spellman, so I think he's part of their family somehow.
I like how he's always walking around with like a silk robe on.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. He's kind of laid back.
Yeah, it would be strange if you could never leave the house for 100 years or whatever. How what you would start acting like after a while.
Yeah, he does say in like second episode that he's been living with her aunts for 75 years.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things where the witches, they're like vampires apparently. They never age after they sign their book on the Dark Lords, whatever.
Well, I think they age super slowly.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes you wonder how old his aunts are.
Oh, and this is their group is called Wicca, which is funny because that's an actual, pagan religion. We do not ban books. Don't be ridiculous. Have you guys seen this guy in the Langoliers? Because he plays a really cool psycho in the Langoliers.
No, I've seen him he was in Dawn of the Dead, the original. He was.
Oh, really?
He was a TV producer when they were escaping from the TV station to get to the helicopter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's a really good character actor. The only thing I can really remember, I was telling Ryan in one of the previous commentaries, was he was in Beverly Hills Cop as the artist that was, that him Axel, Eddie Murphy's character became really good friends with at the art museum.
I wonder if he's ever been a lead in anything. He must have been.
So The Bluest Eye was published in 1970, and it's a book that takes place in Ohio and tells the story of an African-American girl. And so it's just pretty graphic. It's got some stuff in there about...
Deals with racism, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It won the Nobel... Toni Morrison won the Pulitzer and the Nobel Prize.
A lot
for
of
literature.
times schools have trouble with books that use racial slurs a lot.
Oh yeah, like Mark Twain,
Yeah.
Weren't they trying to take away certain words out of Tom Sawyer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Huckleberry Finn too, especially Huckleberry Finn.
Well, this does tend to happen. I mean, every once in a while in certain schools in America and even other places around the world, you hear that, this book, parents don't want their kids to know about this book. And I'm like, and it's like sometimes it's a classic of literature that nobody has any issues with. But because of certain, passages and the parents are like, well, I don't want my kid to be exposed to this. Yeah. And I'm like, well, you were exposed to it and you did fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think the context is the most important thing, and teachers taking time to explain to kids, the reason that language is in
Exactly.
there. Not saying like it's cool to go around calling people those words.
Oh my God, she's being soothed by the devil.
Yeah.
Well, it really suck.
Okay, this is bananas. This part is bananas. Like, oh, you're being sued by the Dark Lord. Like what?
I like it. I like the way that there's this sort of secret world where people have
Yeah.
contact with the devil, and there's
It's
witch law is like reverse of human law or
uh-huh.
mortal law.
What? Sure, yeah. Like guilty until proven innocent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those judges are really creepy looking.
Yeah,
Kind of remind me something out of a Clive Barker story. You know?
it does. Yeah, especially the hats they use and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clive sketches characters like that sometimes with like these pointy hats and weird faces. But I have to say though, this whole story about you have to leave your life behind, you have to leave your friends, and you can't deal with mortals. But they have a mortuary, they have a business where they see people probably every day.
Well, and
Yeah.
he explains that. Ambrose says that it's like a veil drops, and you don't want to get too close to any of them because the things that they think important you won't think are important anymore, and you'll just kind of
Right. But he also said that it's because she won't age and her friends will age and they will notice. But then everybody would notice that her aunts lived in Greendale all her life and they don't seem to age.
Yeah.
So at some point they'd be like, hey, let's look into those women. They seem to be staying the same age and it's been like 30 years. Anyway, it's suspension of disbelief, right?
No, I don't
It's
know.
fine.
I mean, I think that how much do you keep track of people in your town?
That's
I mean, if
a
they
good point.
if they just changed their names or said like, no, now I'm, that was my mother or whatever, I don't know how much people would notice or care.
Mm. And here's Hawthorne, who I think might be a word play on the name of John Hathorne, which was one of the judges at the Salem witch trials.
And we were thinking Nathaniel Hawthorne that did the
Sure, yeah.
plays. There's a Clive Barker painting in the background there. They're you can see them the most prominently in his office, but they're also in the hexagonal hallways.
Right. It's that demon that he made during the time of Mr. Begone.
Mm.
The black and white demon with the markings around his body and then the
Oh, yeah.
flames.
I was looking at the actor that plays Crowley here. He
Alistair?
actually has a very,
Yeah, Alistair Blackwood.
Alistair Blackwood. He actually looks a little bit like Doug Bradley. Yeah, it kind of has that kind of vibe to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I could see that. So his name is Faustus, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Faustus Blackwood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because
he seems so affected.
yeah.
Obviously, that wasn't his. Look at that painting. That's awesome.
He looks disgusted, like, ugh, she's getting old.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an awesome painting right there.
It is.
Looks like something out of Abarat.
You just have to wonder if his real name when he was born was like Fred Jones or something. He's
Yeah.
Okay, so this witch that took the place of the teacher, so she's serving the Dark Lord into getting Sabrina to sign the name, right?
yeah.
Oh, am I crazy or that coffee table over there looks like the Solved Lament configuration? There's a tiny, tiny table there.
Oh.
When they did a shot from above, you could see
Oh
it.
yeah, no, you can see it on the left right now. Yeah,
Yeah, it looks
does.
like it.
That's maybe a little nod. And she's not just a witch. She's a demon, and they're going to explain later on in the series exactly who she is.
I like the fact that he doesn't have just one fireplace. He has two fireplaces. That office
Yeah.
must be really, really cold.
Yeah, in reality, they look like they're gas fireplaces because those logs aren't getting burned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really noticing a lot of more of the Clive Barker paintings in his office than I did the first time when I watched this. I
Yeah.
just saw them at school. I didn't realize they were in his.
This is a swanky looking office. Yeah, Dr. Chenard would be right at home here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the Obsessions,
Obsession room.
the Obsession Room from Hellbound.
Yeah, a little bit. Without the terrible curtains
Yeah, you're right.
and Kyle hiding behind the
Yeah.
curtain.
I like this character, Daniel Webster.
Yeah, I like what they did getting from the story, The Devil and Mr. Webster, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, isn't that the story about the guy who sells his soul to the devil to play the fiddle, and then he hires a lawyer
Okay, yeah.
to beat the devil? Yeah. Ooh, tricky. See, he doesn't practice anymore, but he still has all his legal papers and books all around his house.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of seems like his life just sort of went to hell. He's got he doesn't pick up anything. His house was a horrible mess on the outside.
Yep. I like how you said that. A guy who made a deal with the devil, his life went to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to bring up something about the aunts, Hilda and Zelda.
Yeah.
They remind me a little bit, and also the house to some extent. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but there's these two characters in DC Comics called Cain and Abel. They're the key figures in DC's mystery line in the late 60s and 70s, and they also got a revival in the Swamp Thing comics. There are two brothers who they used to introduce scary stories in the 60s and 70s for a series of stories called what was it like? I think it was called Mystery House or something like that. But anyway, so they're supposed to be Cain and Abel, two brothers who live in this black, gigantic, creepy house. And Cain keeps killing Abel and burying him in a pit or burying him alive, and then he always comes back. And so there was a time when Zelda actually hit Dawn from The Office with a shovel several times. Actually, he kills her with a hammer, right?
yeah.
Just like Julia in Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say also the boyfriend here. Originally, I was found some info. Originally in the Archie's comics, he was more of a '60s football hunk who was kind of stupid. More
Yeah.
like those football players from the earlier episodes.
Yeah. They make him a lot more sympathetic in this.
Yeah.
Every nice character is super sympathetic in this, including the boyfriend. He's like the most understanding guy. And he's pretty naive in certain ways because he has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And he never suspected anything about, Sabrina living in a gigantic black house in the middle of the woods that's a mortuary.
Yeah, but along the course of the series, that does change a little bit. There's a little bit of a divide between her and Harvey, and also the Weird Sisters, who are really detestable right now. They become more sympathetic farther along in the series.
Yeah, those characters look straight out of like the Twilight movies.
You don't like the Weird Sisters?
It's not that I don't like them. I just think they're over the top a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was fun to see what they did to the jocks in the mine. That was interesting. It also brought up some ideas about that even though they don't age, it seems like there's something under their skin when they sign their name to the Dark Lord that kind of in a way turns them into something less than human. Oh, look at these. Oh crap.
Yeah.
Those faces.
They came out of nowhere. Everything looks so suburban and so like normal, and then you get these guys like so freaky.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting when she goes to the academy. It's like it looks like from the outside an old abandoned train station in the woods. But when she goes inside, it's completely different.
My God, look at this dude.
Yeah, that's something out of Tortured Souls or something.
We go in, we kill. He looks straight out of the Mad Max movies.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. Here comes the lawyer.
You're not unknown to this court, but you are unwelcome, sir. And uninvited, unintrusive.
Sabrina,
My client.
he's my lawyer. It's Zelda.
Yep. And I brought my fiddle.
Yeah.
He's my lawyer. It's Zelda.
And Zelda's like, oh my God, this woman's going to kill me.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the idea that being a witch is now a genetic trait in this show? Were you okay with that?
Yeah, I like it. I like it because it's different and it's weird and they don't explain it.
It kind of reminds me of Star Wars and being a Jedi and having a high midichlorian count, and now you can tell that you get powers because you have a special gene in you and stuff like that. So I think that takes a little bit away, in my view, of the whole thing that people have to train and read a lot of books and train their spells and find a way to access that power.
Well, yeah, I wonder if it's some kind of demonic bloodline. I mean, so far, as far as I've been through the whole first series, and they don't really explain it.
Yeah. This is like, hey, you let him on, and didn't you show up wearing this dress to, it's kind of a controversial line of inquiry here. It's like, hey, you let him on, so you're to blame.
Yeah, right. That's not that's really frowned upon when that defense comes up now for rape trials.
Oh yeah,
and stuff. Yeah,
right.
And rightfully so. I mean that.
Of course,
good.
someone just yells. Someone just yells, "Tramp!"
Yeah, tramp.
Like, it's a very wholesome show. So far, it's been very wholesome in the sense that, she has very strong relationships with her female friends, and the guy friends are all nice people, and they, except for the jocks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's like even people who hang out with the devil and they can be good people. It's kind of a strong argument for freedom of religion, I guess. Although a lot of these people, have no qualms at all about murdering people. Even Ambrose is like, "Hey, you sure you don't want me to kill him?" About the principle.
Yeah,
with the spiders.
There's a big clash between the wholesome part of this show and how everything else seems to indicate that the Church of the Night is a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But her aunts are like, no, this is great. You're going to be in. It's going to be fine. It's like,
well, Zelda is like that, but Hilda is a little more hesitant, and she kind of feels like she never really had a choice, and she kind of wishes that she'd had a choice, and she wants to kind of urge Sabrina into hanging on to her mortal life.
And this argument here that Hawthorne or Blackwood or whatever his name is saying, Faustus Blackwood, which is another one of those names. It's like, man, could you not make it like a little more creepy than Faustus Blackwood?
Yeah.
But this line of thing here doesn't really make much sense. So, the name is here. It was signed. Her name was signed in this book, promising her. But it's like she didn't sign it. So why does this make any, just come out and say it, like, no, this is what we do, and we're going to take you whether you like it or not. And that's it. Instead of this mock court where it's like, oh, no, someone signed your name in this book, so now you belong to the Dark Lord. You broke your promise. Well, she never made a promise. So
because her father signed her over when she was a baby.
Yeah.
I just noticed those glasses are huge.
Yeah.
They are so big.
Yeah, she's trying to hide that she's aging.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense. All your strong arming trying to get me to sign. You were just trying to cover up.
I like that mirror in the wall back there. It reminds me of the mirror that Chenard has in his office. And I think behind Zelda, that's maybe a Goya painting.
Oh,
It looks like it. I'm not sure. I know it's about a Sabbath. It's a picture about a Sabbath, I think. At first, I suspected that guy over there, I forgot his name. What's his name? Sabrina's
Ambrose.
cousin. Ambrose, thank
Yeah.
you. I thought at first that he would turn out to be some sort of familiar for one of the witches. But then, when he started saying that, hey, I'm actually a witch and I've been with your aunts for 75 years and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess. And then he'd say something about the terms of his house arrest,
Yeah.
which also raises more questions than answers. It's like, so Sabrina never noticed that guy never leaves the house and he's always in that house?
No, she knows all about it. I mean, he talks
Okay.
about it. He says he's under house arrest for trying to blow up the Vatican.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Is that in the episode 4?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, this is his daughter, his dead daughter.
Yeah.
That one of the things about this show that kind of annoys me just a little bit is the fact that they have this blur vignette around the shot sometimes. And I think it's meant to make it seem like, oh, someone's like, that feeling of closing in on your vision, tunnel vision. But to me, it's not here right now, but it's going to show up later in some shots, and it's like that kind of annoys me a little bit because sometimes I want to see what's behind, what's in the background.
Yeah, especially with all the paintings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Looks like they like to go on hikes in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
I never really understand why they take this path because there doesn't seem to be any path here. It seems like they're walking home from school, it seems, but at the same time, there's no path. They're just walking in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, I think it must be a path to her house, or I mean, it must be to her house because she lives out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah,
he probably lives in town.
A terrible place to get business to come to you.
Yeah.
For the mortuary, at least. Oh, right. They set this up when the jocks were being tortured by the Weird Sisters. They said something about there's one mine shaft that's so deep it goes all the way into hell.
Yeah.
And apparently no other miner has ever seen anything like this.
Actually, yeah, there was one miner that saw it, and he got possessed, and he's crazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's in episode 4.
Episode 4, yeah.
Got it. I guess everybody can tell I didn't watch 4. It's funny because I'm also watching American Horror Story Coven, and there's also a guy that has a goat's head in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of that when it started, and I didn't like it. I don't know. I don't like the way that the episodes don't seem to connect very well to it. Like the seasons don't connect to each other.
Right. Yeah, the seasons are all kind of self-contained, but there's little bits here and there that connect them.
It seemed like it was just weird for the sake of being weird, and it was hard to put the story together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a big Twilight vibe around this whole thing, and then there's a bunch of pumpkins.
Twilight, I saw the first 2 Twilight movies, and I didn't care for them, but I don't know.
And the colors of their school crests totally remind me of the Gryffindor in Harry Potter.
Rob and I were talking last time about how you almost never see these guys in class. They're always like hanging out in the hallway or in the library. But there's
no class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's Balky.
Yeah. He's gonna do the dance of joy.
I did. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's fun. I was just gonna say I was wondering to know what's this actor's name again. But what is his...
Bronson Pinchot.
Yes, that's his name. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah,
So
you
it looks
never
like-
see that. What was cousin Larry? You never see that. You hardly see that actor in stuff anymore. But he was kind of the boring like foil to Balky.
Hey, he puts clothes on actually.
Yeah,
He still
He's
has that
got
kind of 70s vibe, though. Isn't that jacket kind of a 70s
yeah.
thing?
totally. It's
Yeah.
what do you call that? Corduroy.
Yeah, corduroy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys think this guy's the witch hunter?
Could be. I've not watched them all yet, but that's a good.
I'm
could
not
be,
going to
uh,
answer because I have seen the
Okay.
season.
Got it. Because I got that vibe right away. He's like, ooh. He's immediately attracted.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just going to come out and say it. I got a big queer vibe from this guy from episode 1. It's pretty clear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's weird that the familiars communicate with the witches, but it's like Stewie and Family Guy. Nobody understands what they're saying except for the witch, and only they can hear and talk to them. And I haven't seen a cat talk yet, so I'm looking forward to episode 4. Does the cat actually talk, Ryan?
In this show?
Yeah.
No, only in that first episode when he would turn
Summons
when he-
him.
Yeah, when he was the
before he turned
goblin.
into
And,
the cat.
yeah.
Yeah. So it makes me think that when her aunt gave her the book to pick a familiar, do they have like a pet store for witches where they have goblins there ready to be adopted?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Seemed like that's what they were trying to.
They had like a
hint.
catalog or something.
And then she was like,
Classroom scene.
Yeah, right.
adopt, don't shop. So she decided to adopt a stray goblin.
Everything
class?
has got such a like a 60s and 70s vibe. All the whole show, but every once in a while there's
Yeah.
little references that make you think this is in
Modern
Oh.
day.
more modern times. Like they talked about later on, they talk about The Fly, and they talk about Cronenberg's remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is taken out of Nightmare on Elm Street completely.
Yeah.
Like this
Oh,
whole
yeah.
sequence.
Yeah,
Yep. Because she's following Nancy.
yeah.
Well, or Nancy. That's a cool library, though. Apparently Greendale, Wisconsin, does exist.
Oh,
I looked it up. I know that there's a duality between Greendale and Riverdale, which is
Right.
where Archie. I never grew up reading any Archie comics because I grew up in Portugal, so we didn't have Archie there. We had Disney comics, but yeah. So I never got acquainted with
well,
Archie.
Archie comics seemed sort of like low rent, like they would be at the newsstand, I mean at the checkout counters at grocery stores and stuff. So I never, and like one of the guys, Jughead wore a crown. It's like, what is this crap? I never, and I think some of it was like in newspapers in the Sunday papers.
Yeah.
So it never interested me. I never really had any. I've never read any of their comics.
It's funny how woke Sabrina can be and how smart she can be, but then in other situations like this one, she completely falls for the first thing that gets dropped on her, and she doesn't even question, like, why would that book of clippings be there? And she knows that the devil and people are pressuring her
Yeah.
to sign the dark book, and they want to throw her against her lawyer, and then she just looks at that and like, all right, well, I don't want this guy anymore. He's your best chance, Sabrina.
I know. Yeah.
If you're the greatest lawyer in the world, you should be living somewhere in like New York and like some big tower.
Yeah.
And there is a Riverdale show as well, right? There's a
Yeah.
live action
Yeah.
show with Archie now.
And
I think they're
in interviews they talked about if they were going to cross those two shows, cross them over to each other, And they
Yeah.
said no, not right away, because they want to give Sabrina a chance to stand
Breathe on its own.
stand on its own feet, and
Yeah.
which is good. I don't like crossovers in streaming shows, because you try to binge watch a series, and then you see a crossover that's a sequel to a crossover from some other series, and it's like, crap, now I got to go watch that.
Yeah.
You're watching like 5 or 6 shows and you get so confused,
Yeah.
and it's like you get burned out.
I watch a lot of those shows from like The Flash and the those DC TV shows.
And like Arrow.
Yeah, Flash and Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow and those, they do that, and Supergirl, and they do that every season. They have one set of crossovers that goes into every single one of those series. So I always end up watching the crossovers out of order.
Only Sabrina. Yes. Can you verify for the court?
I gotta say, Kiernan Shipka, who plays Sabrina, she gives me such a big vibe. She looks so much like Emma Watson in the Harry Potter movies.
Oh,
Yeah. I get strong vibes of Twilight meets Harry Potter when I watch this show.
I demand a jury of mortals.
Yeah.
I can see the Harry Potter, but I don't know. I don't see Twilight.
Yeah, that scene with her walking with her boyfriend in the woods, I thought he was going to like pick her up at some point and just run up the hill with her, just like in Twilight. It's seemed very, very reminiscent.
I know what you're talking about.
Maybe because I don't remember much about Twilight.
Yeah. She actually showed up for the first time on TV as a baby on the hospital drama ER.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, so she started really young. And she was also in Mad Men, although I'm not super familiar with that show. I saw like some of the first episodes of first season, and then I kind of fell out of it. But
That's what I did too. Everybody talked about how great that show was, and I watched it. I watched a couple episodes, and I was like, I don't want to invest the time in this.
Yeah, Sally Draper. Ambrose seems to have invested a lot of time and energy, even bought a aquarium for the iguana and a heat lamp.
Yeah.
When the aunts have told him that iguana is going to die, because once the witch dies, the familiar dies too.
Yeah.
He was hoping that he could make it his familiar, because he's not allowed to have one.
If she drowns, she's free to go.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you want to do mortal law? Okay. We'll do a mortal witch trial.
Like, she should know where her mark is and show it, instead of having to take all her clothes off. And also, why are they using the test to prove if she's a witch or not that humans used to kill witches? That, because that's what they did. They were like, well, let's tie her up to this wooden chair and lower her into the lake, and if she floats, she's a witch. If she doesn't, she drowns and she's human. That's what they did at Salem, right?
Yeah.
That's how. And they ended up drowning the ladies and be like, oh, well, my bad. She was not a witch.
Because he's like, well, if you really want to use mortal law, fine, we'll use mortal law. Well, we'll do it this way. It's kind of a slap in the face.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. Why are they striking a deal? It seemed like they had a done thing.
I think the Dark Lord must have told him to do it.
Doesn't it seem like there's a big of a jump here that,
There's something about why the Dark Lord wants her that we don't know, and I don't think it's going to even come out by the end of this season.
Okay.
But there's something like that he'll make everybody bend over backwards to get her in the academy, and I think that the people in the academy really resent it.
I guess she is the one, huh?
Yeah. But it might be something like that, or it might be something like some plot to sacrifice her, or something in her blood will bring the devil to the world, or I don't know. I'm just thinking there's something more sinister to it than that she's going to be used for something.
Yeah.
Love that alarm clock. He's got all these cool little objects in his, or just objects, in his room.
Yeah.
He's got a really cool loft. Hmm.
Yeah, I like the loft. Yeah.
Yeah, and get a close look at this that goblin's like coming out of the lizard.
Yeah.
It's pretty creepy looking.
He died.
Yeah.
It looks like a little creature from the movie The Gate.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yep.
loved that movie when I was a kid. It was because
Yeah.
it was PG, so it was pretty safe for a kid to watch, and it had little.
It's like a little horror movie that were kids. I mean, I wasn't allowed to watch real hard horror stuff, and The Gate was something I always constantly watched.
And like at the end, didn't even the hamsters that were killed, even they came back at the end?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, she's got a different jacket in this scene. She kept for like 2 episodes. All she's done is use a red jacket.
Yeah.
We were talking about how the clothing styles constantly change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Before.
yeah. And it's all like 60s through 80s style, and nobody ever like gets out a cell phone, or there's sort of this weird anachronistic thing around this town.
Yeah. It's there's such a thing called a mirror, Pretty sure you could look into a mirror and look to see if there's any mark in your body.
Mm.
But whatever, it's just put in here to have some sexual tension into the show.
Well, yeah, and I think that she knows that it's not anywhere where she could see it,
Right.
because she would have seen it already.
It's on her soul.
Yeah.
Hey, for all we know, it could be on the scalpel like Sam Neill in The Omen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh my God, he's starting to take his clothes off. He totally got the wrong idea. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, hey, it's happening. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Gets that little goofy smile on his face.
Sex in the Woods.
Yeah.
Recorded at our national parks.
Was this in Vancouver, Canada, I think?
Yeah, the show was shot in Vancouver. So, I'm thinking those woods in Vancouver have these huge trees, and the woods are so green. Certain types of I don't know when they shot this.
It looks a lot like Washington State and the woods in Washington, where I grew up.
Yeah.
And I've been to Vancouver before. It's kind of a sister city to Seattle.
So much for just looking for the birthmark, I guess. It's like, hey, I promise I'll give you a back rub. It's just going to be a back rub. Never turns into just a back rub. Their library has a fireplace.
Yeah, their library is cool. No wonder they skip all their classes to hang out in there.
Oh yeah, I would too.
Yeah, I mean, just to go read books,
Yeah.
learn a lot more.
That girl who's been bullied,
Yeah.
she's like the teenage version of Pat from Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah.
Susie.
Yes. She looks like that kid from Stranger Things too.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit.
you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm just joking. # protect trans kids. But so far, I it's like the 3rd episode. I haven't seen Sabrina do anything magical yet. I guess she only does that after she signs her name in the Dark Lord book.
Oh yeah, she's done magic. She helped with that spider spell against the principal.
Oh, that's right. And she also made her boyfriend forget when she told him all the stuff that needed to be exposed.
Yeah.
She helped out with the 3 witches. In wasn't she helping them with that magic in the mines in that one episode?
Right.
This character, her name is Rosalind, right?
I think, yeah.
She was
I
originally
couldn't remember when I
in
was writing all the character names on the notes.
the comic book. She was originally a Sabrina's rival.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they didn't get along very good.
Huh. Oh, I hope it doesn't develop that way. She doesn't need more rivals.
Enemies. Yeah.
And boom, 3 months from now, she's going to be blind. And she
Yeah.
wanted to be a writer and do literature and all that. So, drama. All right, let's get down in the mines.
Yeah.
Did any of you ever have mining relatives in your family?
No.
No, I don't believe so.
My wife had some mining relatives, I think, in Kentucky. It's a hard life.
Yeah. How deep do you go when you're a miner? You go pretty deep into the,
Sure. Yeah, into the earth.
I would probably get claustrophobic.
Yeah, you and probably the majority of people.
Yeah, that would going that far deep would be too much for me, I think.
Yeah. It's funny because it does get hotter when you go down. I think that the temperature rises about, well, it's like the other way around of going underwater, right? When you go underwater, the deeper you go, the colder it gets. But in the land, the deeper you go, the warmer it gets because you get the energy from radioactive decay leaking outwards from the planet. So, I mean, it's not because you're getting close to like, oh my God, look at them, they got so old all of a sudden.
Yeah,
That's where all the dinosaurs went after the comet hit. They all went underground.
Yeah. What do you mean a retrial? You guys are doing a deal.
Yeah. Well, she didn't agree to that one.
Yeah. I like that she smokes all her cigarettes with calipers or something.
Yeah.
Some sort of
and she's
weird
always
holder.
reading a newspaper.
Fighting battles they know they're not going to win, so if they're fine, let's get it over with.
Yep. He cleaned up really fast from being a homebound alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yep. He wants to do right by his daughter, and he wants to. If he couldn't save her, now maybe he can save Sabrina.
she's turning very yellow, getting a very jaundiced look to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the lighting is very yellow. Yeah, good point.
So this, I was wondering, maybe this might be a little inconsistency. They are supposed to have lost all their powers.
Right, while the trial is going on, right?
But she just did. I mean, maybe the magic is all in this chest.
It's a magic chest. Yeah, of course, we're going to find out further in the episode that, Sabrina was also baptized in the Catholic religion. So there's this duality to her. And of course, the kid has a dad who doesn't understand what he wants to do. And I like that they made him want to be a comic writer because this whole thing started with a comic book. So yeah, that's
plays to that.
And I like the artwork that he's got on the walls too, even though, it's not from Clive Barker, but
But yeah, his art is pretty good.
But everything in this show is amped up to 11. Like, if he likes comics, his room has to be lined in comics and drawings and stuff like that. Everything is like amped to 11. So, yeah, it's a little over the top. But I guess I would be more happy with this show if it was a cool cartoon than with live action. Some parts of it just seem like it could have been a little more subtle in certain things, the way that they... But I guess it's very stylized, so that's the whole point of the show. It's just being like completely like the adaptation of the comic, not be cartoon itself. Especially Faustus Blackwood is so over the top.
Yeah.
A lot of the lighting, I brought this up in the earlier commentary, but the lighting and the styles you were saying is straight from the comic book. I was looking at panels from, the comic book done by who did the comic book?
Yeah.
Robert Hack, the artist Robert Hack. It really captures his style of artwork.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough to make comic book movies. Not as hard as apparently as video game movies, though.
Yeah.
In some ways, this reminds me a little bit of the concept at the core of Saint Sinner, because everything in Sabrina's
God.
life is split down the middle
Oh,
to
you
both
mean the
worlds.
comic Saint Sinner, not the
Right.
Okay.
No, yeah. Just because the whole duality thing that goes on, it's like she is forced into the Church of Night, and she wants to take both sides, and then even both her aunts have opposing. One of them witnessed signing the name in the dark book, and the other one saw, her mother baptize her and sign the name in the little baby book and all that stuff. And it's like split right down the middle.
Yeah.
QED.
Yeah, what is QED?
It means quod erat demonstratum, which means,
okay.
and so it is demonstrated that this argument stands.
This is outrageous. No, I'll tell you what, Father Blackwood. The Dark Lord's behavior.
The Dark Lord's behavior. You're complaining about the behavior of Satan?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's silly.
Hey, surprise witness. I mean, what are those dishonors in the background? Are they demons? Are they witches?
Yeah, they don't say. I just got them
I
to be
think
as like
they must be demons, but it's a good question.
And I don't think Father Blackwood likes being the high priest either.
Yeah.
I think some parts of his job he doesn't. He feels like it seems like he's either scared of what needs to be done or unwilling to do what needs to be done. Man, I really dig those weird judge things.
Well, and in the fourth episode, you find out that he kind of resents Sabrina being pushed into the academy. He doesn't want her there because
okay.
Because her father was the former high priest, and Blackwood was his mentor, and he surpassed him really fast.
Yeah. I just want to bring up that they own a mortuary, so their hate of the Catholic Church seems a little weird because they have to prepare funerals. Unless they only do funerals that are for pagan people? I don't know.
Oh, I see. Because there might be a priest coming and blessing things and...
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just... I just wanted to bring that up.
No, that's a good point. I wonder what they do.
Hellbound Court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This completely undermines the entire argument that they've been forcing her for the last 3 episodes. But I guess the Dark Lord wants her to be in the academy so much that he's willing to, compromise. It seems like at this point she should be completely wanting to get away from all of this.
So she was Arwen in the Lord of the Rings, right? Rob brought that up in the last episode.
Yeah. Her tooth came back.
Yeah.
Man, that dude in the back that looks like he came out of Mad Max is like, what is he? Is he the bailiff?
No, that's what I kind of figured he was, the bailiff. But,
I'm the bailiff from hell.
Yeah.
Where do those guys go? Do they go to the supermarket to buy food, or do they take off the chains and the mask and just put on a baseball cap and sunglasses when they go outside?
Yeah,
go clubbing.
Maybe they're going back to hell.
Maybe he's a club kid.
Yeah.
Gets a whistle and some glow sticks and goes like.
Yeah.
You've done it again, Webster.
Is this?
Well,
I
and
don't think
Hilda
that-
had a huge part in this that they didn't even know.
Yep. So you can't be a witch because you have a pre-existing condition. That pre-existing condition is you were baptized a Catholic.
So now it's interesting that they've taken 3 episodes now to establish her as a mortal. You know, she has a mortal life, but also a witch. So now they've established her duality.
I love this shot of the house and the twisted, gnarly woods.
Yeah.
Oh, she's been excommunicated. Why is she surprised that she's excommunicated?
Yeah.
She should know that this is going to happen if she helped baptize a witch.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you'll have to get a job at an office with a shitty boss.
I gotta admit,
She actually does get a job later.
Yes, yeah.
It's funny that they share the same room.
Yeah. Yeah, in that huge house.
So you said she is a demon, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the best things that came out of this show on episode 2 is when, not episode 2, but maybe episode 1. It's when Sabrina meets the weird sisters for the first time or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
and then they curse her, and then she calls them sucky bitches.
Yeah.
So you said she's a demon?
Yeah.
I thought it was really creepy when Hilda was telling Sabrina about if she doesn't want to go into the academy, that she could probably make up her own mind. And then you look up and you see Zelda like just glued to the ceiling, and then she kind of just
Floats
fades back
up,
into
yeah.
the ceiling. Yeah, that was a really cool shot. It's a Wicca circle. Well, that doesn't solve anything. You still can't put every student to be a part of the book club. You can always have you can only have like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
That's not enough.
Well, yeah, and you think about high school, how many of the kids are actually going to be interested in it anyway?
Kind of a Pyrrhic victory. A little something for each of you.
Yeah. Okay. Got to get the credits. Come on.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we messed up last episode. We both weren't able to get the credits in time before they, skipped on to the next one.
Oh, yeah. So Sarah Jane Redmond, that's the teacher that was just talking to them, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I think. Yeah, and Aunt Zelda is Eowyn from Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah.
She's the one that goes like,
Rob
kills the
pointed that
Nazgul.
out. I hadn't even noticed. She looks so different.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that was kind of a long time ago now.
It's 20 years, and this doesn't feel like it's been 20 years.
No, those still feel like new movies to me.
Yeah.
And they mentioned the names of the dishonors in the back, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I saw something here in the credits. Let me just go back a little bit. Huh, I guess I missed it. But there was a name. Let me just check that real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me know when we start the 4th one.
Okay, I'll do the countdown, I guess.
Sure.
Is everybody ready?
I am.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. All right. I got directed by Rob Senninglans.
Oh, I'm starting at the Warner Brothers logo.
Okay, the Netflix logo just started over again. I don't know. Okay, now I'm on the Warner Brothers logo. I might be a few seconds behind you guys, I guess.
Sure, that's okay.
Yeah, we have to do double features of these because otherwise we'd be doing this series the whole year long almost, or it'd take like 6 months to get through one season.
Right.
And I think next month in April, season 2 comes out, which I would love to do this year, but really we can't. I mean, if we're gonna get to our other stuff, then we can't do it.
Okay. So the woman who plays that teacher that she replaced, I think, is Miranda Otto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like the Dark Lord in the cemetery with those snakes like hissing at him.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I really like. I talked about this. I like the motion comic animation of this.
Yeah.
We got a nice fluid kind of style to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's kind of sad that the Madefire motion comics for the Books of Blood didn't really work out.
Yeah, that's sad. I like the Book of Blood, the first one.
Yeah.
Now that style is in the Archie style of animation, right? That one shot of Sabrina. That's from the old school.
Yeah.
That's actually.
All right, so it's opening up with a diner for me.
Okay, now I'm seeing directed by Rob Sieglans, and now it's the diner.
Okay.
So is this? I'm a little confused here. Is the diner also the comic book shop?
There's a bunch of comics back there, so probably.
Yeah,
you're right.
What a cool place. I mean, I guess that gives them one place to hang out, so they don't have to decide.
You know how much money they save production just using one set?
Yeah.
No, but that's cool. That's a really cool place.
I know. I'm jealous, actually. Although I have a comic shop that's walking distance from my house.
Oh, that's cool.
I've been spending a lot on Dungeons and Dragons figures lately.
Oh,
You've
cool.
gotten back into that, haven't you?
Oh yeah. Now I'm in 3 groups because one of them only meets once a month and the other one only every like 2 weeks. So,
remember when the Satanic Panic years when people were saying that Dungeons and Dragons was introducing kids to like Satanism?
Yeah. Yep, I had to deal with it a little bit. I had to show my mom what it was, so she also had that problem with Ozzy Osbourne because of all the, and then so I had to show her on her Black Sabbath record that look, John Osborne is the same person as Ozzy Osbourne. And then she couldn't say anything after that.
So you're going to sign your soul to the devil to help defeat the devil. Good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this show has a Christmas episode. I think it's episode number 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the season had been over for kind of like a month or so, and then they did that.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Because I like Salem. I like black cats, and it was like I remember seeing a post that kind of went viral on Facebook. It said black cats are awesome. It was like a black cat with a picture of like a rhinoceros or something like that.
Yeah, I posted something. It was a black kitty headbutting a baby rhino. Yeah, it was cute. And the rhino just keeps lowering his face so the cat can just headbutt him. And it's cute. It was a cute video.
We actually got a cat now. We just got a new cat last weekend.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
His name is Indy. He's a what do you call that? American short hair, like a tabby looking one.
Oh, okay. So it's striped tabby.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Joey's really happy. He loves him.
Aw.
We got a laser pointer yesterday, and so he's been running the cat all over the house with the laser pointer.
Has the cat been out in the snow yet? Do you guys still have snow?
He took a couple of steps and he didn't like it, so he just went
Yeah.
back in.
Like, nah,
He,
I
he
want to
was
go
an
back
indoor
to.
cat before we took him.
Right, right. I have a black kitty. Of course, her name is Lucifer. So she's actually watching this with me on my lap.
Oh,
I think that this cat's name was Indiana Jones, and they called him Indy. And so it's like, okay, I guess we're calling him Indy, but I don't know. I wish we had the chance to name him.
You could call him Jonesy, as in the Alien movie.
Right, right.
yeah, that'd be a great name.
Oh, so is this the
And you
Academy?
little shit, you're staying here.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't this an
Creepy kid alert.
abandoned? It's an abandoned train station, isn't it? From the
Looks like it.
outside.
It's like, dude, this college looks like it's crumbling apart.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it says something station. Oh boy.
Johanna
Still love it.
Station. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's a statue that resulted in a settled lawsuit.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
the
So was the statue sitting down in the original one too?
the statue looks just like
It's
this.
identical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's practically identical.
Yeah, and they probably thought it was a generic satanic symbol, and they're like, this Church of Satan's like, no, we designed that. That's ours.
Yeah. Yeah, it's copyrighted, so undisclosed millions have been settled.
And so that kid that showed her through the school is going to play more prominently in this episode. And it turns out he's not alive.
Like, dang, this guy, he wanted her to strip naked in front of the whole coven. He was like,
Yeah.
get her. He wanted to slice her hand and get her blood on the book. And now it's like, oh, welcome to our school. Huh,
Yeah.
Here, I hope you have a good
General
time
ed
here.
Requirements.
But he
Yeah.
he did give her crappy classes.
Yeah, I know. That's
Choir practice. Oh, let's go sing some satanic hymns. Hey, everybody, it's the Catholic chick. Let's make fun of her. Ha, ha, ha.
no, that is Faustus Blackwood's wife.
Yeah.
That's choir teacher.
Hmm.
I like the academy. I like the way it looks. I like the style.
And later on, we'll see there's some issues between Blackwood and his wife.
Hey, welcome to your first day of class. How about we just put you singing something right in front of the whole class?
Yeah.
That's not intimidating at all.
Yeah, I know. If that were me, I'd be like, no, I'll just go in the back.
In the first live action show, I think she was played by Melissa Joan Hart. That was the first Sabrina the Witch, I think, in real action.
Yeah, right. I've never actually seen that show. I think in '96 I was like 21, so it wasn't, wasn't, and it was a kids show.
Right.
The actor that plays Nicholas, he looks like that actor, Jordan Gordon Levitt. Is that his name? Joseph Gordon Levitt.
Oh yeah, he does a little bit look like him.
Yeah, it does a little bit. Yeah. Everybody's good looking in this TV show.
Yeah. Actually, I started watching the show Lucifer. It's kind of based on Neil Gaiman's series where Lucifer decides to retire and go to Earth.
And
Yeah.
turns into immortal and helps the police solve crimes or something.
Yeah. And that show is even more so. It's like every actor, it looks like a model in that show.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I wonder how much Neil Gaiman likes it.
So I just found out that Shipka has taken Muay Thai boxing classes. So she does Muay Thai. I wonder if she's going to kick some butt in future episodes.
Huh.
And she also names Grace Kelly and Audrey Hepburn as fashion influences, which I guess you could see in the way that she uses those coats and stuff.
Yeah.
Here are the Mean Girls.
The
Yeah.
bullies.
They want Lindsay Lohan to be part of her group.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Their lunches are so modern to like crappy school lunches.
Yeah.
You know? I just remember crappy corn,
Yeah.
green beans. I thought the school of the dark arts would have offer them better food. I don't know.
Yeah. Where I think the switch to junior high, it was all like pizza and burritos and stuff.
Yeah.
hey! In the Harry Potter movies, they drank this weird like root beer thing that wasn't bad for them. They could eat like all sorts of desserts they wanted. It's such a fantasy thing at Hogwarts. Yeah. But at least the glasses are nice.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm surprised they don't have uniforms in the school.
Yeah.
And they don't have to bust their trays, they just leave them on the table, I guess. Maybe there's some kind of imp that runs around and collects all the cafeteria trays.
That would be the lowest of the infernal rank, huh?
Yeah. What's
Say, hey, you're a demon from hell. Your job is to pick up lunch trays.
wash dishes?
So
Yeah.
they've got this old TV. I mean, their furniture's old. They've got an old like TV with wood on it.
Has anybody flipped out a phone yet or a smartphone in this
No.
show? I don't think I've seen anything.
No,
Yeah.
I watched for it. I think there might be one later on in the series. I think I remember because I'd been watching for it. Just to try to place where this show is happening in time.
And why are these two together? Do they live together? Are they having a sleepover?
No,
Probably.
yeah, it's like a sleepover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's
That
kind of
movie
freaked out
what was that movie they were watching?
about
on the
having
TV?
to watch her uncle on her. But they were watching Carnival of Souls, I think.
Yeah.
I had a chance to watch Carnival of Souls on a big screen once, and it was a pretty good experience.
I've never seen it. I wanted to because it's like an influence for Night of the Living Dead, but
What do they see?
it's her uncle. So her parents left for the weekend, and so she has to watch her uncle by herself. Her uncle is the miner that the other person that saw the devil in the mine.
Uncle Jesse. I guess it's not John Stamos, huh?
No, isn't there? There's some kind of a college scam with his girlfriend wife in that show now, right? So that actress got caught bribing college officials into allowing kids in or something like that.
That's right. I did hear about that.
That is a pretty creepy moment when she says, well, most of the time it's just sedated. And it's like, your dad and your parents leave you alone with him?
Yeah.
Oh, he's fine.
Because
sometimes
she told him she could handle it, but now she's scared.
Yeah, but it looks like when they looked into the door, we didn't see what was going on, but I'm just imagining like some guy taking off all his clothes and just, doing some weird stuff in his bedroom.
It's kind of like The Exorcist. So he's, I think he's possessed.
Yeah, that seems like something that you would need more than just giving him a couple of pills and leaving him in a room with your teenage daughter.
Yeah.
What was the first exorcism movie that you guys ever saw? Was it The Exorcist?
Definitely The Exorcist, yeah.
Exorcist, I believe. I think so. It might have been. There was actually a comedy with the woman that. What was it? With
Linda Blair.
Yeah, she was. It was a comedy, but it was a Linda Blair. It had Linda Blair in it, and she was possessed. But it was not. It was funny because I couldn't watch The Exorcist when I was a kid. I can't remember. Repossessed? It had Leslie Nielsen in it.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
The guy from Naked Gun, and he played a priest trying to.
This looks like a gang initiation. Hey, we're going to beat you up, and then you're going to be one of us.
Well, it is. They're calling it the harrowing.
Yeah.
And through the course of this show, you find out that the harrowing mostly killed other witches.
And they did this at the academy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a form of type of bullying.
Well, and Blackwood is allowing it because he wants her to be tortured. He wants her to be miserable at the academy. So then it'd be like, well, I did my job. I let her in. She couldn't handle it.
Right. Okay. Got it. So is she going to be without food or water?
Well,
That sucks.
she's locked in here with the spirits of witches who were killed that way.
That seems like a horrible thing for witches to do to other witches.
I know.
You would imagine that they would be more of a sisterhood. But then again, they follow a high priest who's a man, so it seems weird, right?
Yeah, right. And the
So it's-
former high priest was also a man, her father. So I wonder if the roles are gender related.
Yeah, they're not going to help you. They locked you in there.
Yeah.
Faint slithering. I'm looking at the the captions, and the captions.
Yeah.
It's Dobby. It's Dobby's hand. I really love the kitty cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
it looks like they
He's
cleaned up all the vines outside of this school.
He's a total badass. The cat. He just destroyed that scarecrow thing in the second episode.
Oh, look at the kitty. I have a feeling that the cat's not going to be with her for long. Huh? She should have said, bye, bitches.
Yeah, bye, bitches.
Yeah.
The harrowing went by really quickly. I mean, they could have milked that moment for a little more, show us some ghosts or something,
there-
show us
there-
the kitty cat.
There's a lot more harrowing to come.
Oh, I see.
That was just the first round.
It puts the lotion on the skin or else it gets the hose again. Even the phone is old.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a cell phone. There it is.
Yeah, there's a cell phone.
He's
He's
got it.
talking on
He looks like an iPhone.
he's talking on
Yeah.
an old payphone, it looks like.
Yeah.
Or one of those phones where you just
Yeah. Looks like an old rotary dial house phone.
Yeah.
You know, some kids nowadays probably don't even know how to use a rotary phone. I think I saw a video on YouTube once where it's like, kids look at a rotary phone, they're like, "What's this? How do you text on this?" And they're like,
How do you
How do you-
text on this?
"How do you dial?"
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well,
I guess I
mean,
could see that.
To be fair, I mean, I think all of us had to be taught how to dial a rotary phone because it's not super intuitive.
Oh, I missed it. What was she looking for?
Her pajamas and her cat.
Oh. Fight, 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 fight. This is just like a normal school.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he in the girls' dorm? Oh, that's a common area, I think. Oh, was that Mother Motley back there?
Oh,
I saw the womb.
I see the one with the ghost screaming in the dark right there behind. And then it looks like in the office there's another one by Clive Barker back there behind the lamp.
yeah.
It's
And
too
there's,
bad there's something in the middle. Yeah.
That's not the arsonist, but there's a guy with fire behind him there.
Right. I think that's that demon that he painted around the time of
yeah.
the Mr. Begone one. I think the harrowing is pretty challenging.
Yeah.
It's like Professor Snape, but without the smock.
Yeah.
I'll get you, Harry Potter. And is that painting over there next to the fire the one with the demon inside the profile's
Oh,
head?
and there's one of the sisters in from of the Phantomaya
Oh, cool.
from
From
Aberrad.
Eberad.
Yeah. I think not Diamanda. It's the older one.
Oh my God! It's the Acheron configuration, an ancient puzzle. Are you kidding me? This is like straight out of Hellraiser.
Right, yeah.
Except this also looks like a device that you use in Half-Life 2. There's this kind of ball that you can throw into a room and it zaps everybody in there in Half-Life 2. And it looks just like that thing. I swear to God. It looks like a little mine.
So this is a test that he gave her because he knew she wouldn't win. He's been trying to open it for 20 years. We find out in a little bit.
I think she should open it and one of those guys from the trial should show up.
Yeah.
What's your pleasure, Sabrina Spellman? I like the doors to his office. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, like his wife that teaches the choir?
Yeah. So he wants her to come back to her life as a midwife because that's what they used to do before the mortuary.
Okay, I know that midwives do accompany the pregnancy, but I mean, I don't think a midwife would have anything to do with preventing a miscarriage, but
Well, I guess if they're magic, they would.
yeah, that's probably right. Like, here, have these potions.
Yeah.
They got tannis root.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that's supposed to do, but
Yeah.
St.
that-
John's wort.
Tannis root was mentioned in Rosemary's Baby too, right? Is that a real? Is tannis root a real thing?
Yeah, it is. I just don't think it has any powers or anything like that.
Yeah.
Until I discovered I was gay. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. Dude, get some paint. Paint the front of that school. It's not like people would be suspicious because there's already a bunch of kids hanging out outside of it, going in and out every day. Like, at least just paint it. Look at all those kids walking around. Maybe there's like a spell and no normies can see anything about the school.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Also, is this still in Greendale? Are we still in Greendale?
I think it's the outskirts. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't, actually, I don't know. Or maybe she's gone into like some kind of pocket dimension. I have no idea where she is.
In the comic book, I think she did go to an alternate dimension for a school. It was like the Magic Realm or something.
Oh.
Hey, that thing's a kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
It's like a dumbed down version of the Lament configuration. Huh. You don't have to sneak into the library. You're a student at that school.
Well, that part is for advanced students.
Oh, it's like the
and-
Magic Castle, inner circle door, right?
Yeah, and her father's books, journals are considered to be dangerous texts, so people aren't allowed to check them out.
I got a feeling we're not going to learn a lot about her parents, right? It's always going to be revealed in service of some twist or turn.
Yeah, so far I think that's what it is.
Hey, cool neon sign back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The name of the store is Saberis. What's it? Saberis Books. It's based on that monster from Greek mythology.
Yeah,
Three-headed
that guards
dog.
the gates.
Yeah,
to-
Gates of Hell
Yeah.
or Underworld.
Cerebus, the three-headed dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, just hacking up corpses down here. And it seems like it's not very far from her house, but it's one of those colleges where you sleep there, right? So they have a
Yeah.
dorm
Yeah.
because the cat was just outside the house again. So I guess the cat can go anywhere.
Yeah. Stop eating the jam right out of the jar.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're young forever, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I'm always going to look this good.
Yeah.
Oh.
This jar is mine, I guess, because nobody else is gonna want it.
I wonder, when do you stop aging? When do you? Because it seems like, for example, Zelda stopped aging and stays at this age. It looks like
they don't. I don't think they stop aging. I think they just age really slowly.
Okay, got it. And then it's just when their powers are put on check, then they just start aging really rapidly.
Yeah, I think it starts catching up like Raiders of the Lost Ark, or no, what was that? The third one, right, where the guy got old and died and turned into
The
dust.
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade, yeah, the one with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Which is not the worst Indiana Jones movie anymore.
Yeah.
Is the Psycho Pomp going to be like a Dementor?
They look like.
Are they the
little-
weird octopus creatures with skulls?
They look like little birds in this show.
Okay.
They
got
just
it.
start gathering up around the window and stuff.
And then a bunch of cats come over, and then they scratch the cat lady, and she starts burning up. Sorry, I had to put in that reference to Sleepwalkers.
Mm-hmm.
And they even have a pet cemetery outside the house. I mean, this every scene is like a glut of cliches.
And the girl being left alone with her uncle, it kind of reminds me of Pet Cemetery, that Zelda character.
Oh yeah. Have you guys seen the trailer for the new Pet Cemetery?
Yes.
I don't think so. I think I haven't watched it. I mean, I know it's around, but
John Lithgow is in it.
That first, the Pet Cemetery, the original one, kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, it bothered me.
It was hard to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
the
was.
scene with the dirt bike and the wheel getting closer to his face.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to watch it again, and I don't know that I'd want to watch another version of it. I mean, I think that makes it a good horror movie, but maybe it's just too
Personal.
intense for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Touches on some stuff about death,
Mm-hmm.
untimely death.
I think there's a strange relationship between the reverence that they offer Satan, but then it's like they treat also the Dark Lord as if he's just a very inquisitive headmaster, and it's like, hey, this is my university, this is my college, and I'll do what I want. It's like, it's Satan.
Yeah.
It's Satan.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
they're really kind of overly familiar with him, it seems like.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to do the astral projection thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that he can go on a date.
Oh, is he going to look for Luke
Yeah.
at the coffee shop? Yeah. That coffee shop would be really hard to clean with all that junk around.
Yeah, and I wonder what the other customers think when he just like appeared there in the booth.
Some guy just showed up.
Yeah. I didn't seat you here. Yeah.
I like her. She's a cool character. I mean, she's very over the top, but she's cool.
Yeah.
I like the wardrobe choices for this show.
That character actually had her own Archie comic itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It actually predated our Archie comics. It was Pep Comics,
Oh,
but it was canceled in 1941.
jeez.
I really didn't I didn't realize how old Archie comics were. They're really old.
Yeah.
You know what's strange is that this show is made by Netflix in partnership with Warner Brothers, and there's also the other Sabrina the Teenage Witch streams online at Hulu. So looks like this show's all over the place.
Oh, the old '90s one.
Yeah, yeah, it's on Hulu,
Yeah.
I
which is
love
weird. That
I was just gonna say I love the decoration of the posters of
Night of the Lepus.
yeah.
rabbits seem to appear in a lot of strange movies, right? I mean, I saw Us recently, and there's also rabbits in that one. And it's like, I wonder if that's a reference.
Yeah.
Even Donnie Darko has a giant demonic bunny.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the puka.
Yeah. There's a psychopump.
So when he turns himself into the astral force, do his clothes? Does he also have to dress up before he astral projects himself so he'll appear with those clothes on?
I think that's how it worked.
I had to ask that. That's funny.
Because it's just a mental version of himself.
Are those things on the wall supposed to be speakers for music?
I think maybe it's maybe it's a control for a jukebox. Because
I see.
there used to be those on the tables sometimes. But yeah, it's weird looking.
Sure, just tell him that. I mean, who's not going to believe that you got arrested for blowing up the Vatican?
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I dated crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, put on some Santana. Nail clippings. Ew.
Yeah.
Ew,
I know.
yeah, I wouldn't want to touch that.
Why are they in a jar? Ugh.
Yeah.
Curly fries.
Ugh. Have you seen when people really let their nails grow long? They look like curly fries.
Yeah.
Father Blackwood sharpens his nails. Did you remember that? Seeing his hands and like, yeah. Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yeah.
She looks.
Who's the fairest of them all?
Oh, so here's her putting spit on the mirror. She looks like Ernest.
That is the weirdest dorm ever.
Yeah.
I mean, you're sleeping right next to their bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why there's this big separation between. I understand it. It's just meant to be that she has to go to a boarding school to stay away from the human side, just like Harry Potter has to go to Hogwarts, just like, you know. But what's weird is that Twilight is the opposite. Like, there's a guy who's like a 160-year-old vampire, and he's going to school, you know.
Yeah.
When it's like, why are you going to school? It's just to keep up appearances. You could be homeschooled for all I care.
Yeah.
And in the American Horror Story, also the Coven and the last season, there's also witch schools that are completely secluded from the outside world. Like, if she's a witch and has powers, shouldn't she realize that this is not who she claims she is?
Yeah,
guess she
but
must-
but she also has to. She has to fool Sabrina.
Hey, CGI birds.
Are they? Oh, I guess so.
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure this guy's going to be the witch killer. And he's going to be called something like, like
Some crazy name like Faustus Blackwood.
yeah, like something like Van Helsing or something. Hey, I'm Luke Van Helsing or something like that. Hey, he didn't break the house arrest. I'm pretty sure after 75 years, he'd be pretty pissed at that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I have to bring up is when they were doing the trial, and Faustus Blackwood brings up, here is our grimoire, and he slams it down and says, here's the name, all the signatures in our grimoire and stuff. It's like a grimoire is actually a book of magic spells and invocations. So I'm not sure that applied to what he was saying, but it usually just has how to. It's like a textbook for witches, I guess.
Yeah.
Now you have to go into the woods again, and you have to fight Darth Vader. Looks like the tree from
Empire Strikes Back.
Tim Burton's
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow. Yeah, that's the tree where they hung all those 13 witches, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, and it's where she got the apple, the Malum Malice.
The Malum Malice.
They should have added a third name in there: Malice, Maleficarum, or Terribilis, or something. Just because it's Malum Malice, it's like, okay, yeah.
Well, Malum is apple, right?
Oh, is it? Hmm. This show is really like bent on taking off her clothes. Is she going to turn into a pillar of salt? Okay, I guess you have to stay there.
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to meet the Dark Lord or something?
No.
It's more of a mental horror where she's just getting played with mentally, psychologically. It's
She's being put through the trials to prove she's worthy.
Well, these
I think this
subtitle
is
descriptions are pretty gross.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it said joints popping, and then it said beast munching.
Yeah.
And wasn't her friend's name Nick, the one that has lunch with her?
Yeah, Nick.
So he's a dark-haired, dark-eyed guy called Nick.
Yeah.
I think doesn't something. The rest of his name have to do with Scratch. So I think the rest of his name is like Nick Scratch or something.
Nicholas Scratch.
And Nicholas Scratch.
That's just another name for the devil, right? It's like Old Nick, or Jack Ketch.
Old Scratch,
Yeah. Or maybe he's a human representative of the devil or something like that. Girls, just grab your stuff and run from that school. It's not worth it. They keep trying to kill her. I just want to see her friends coming more to her help instead of her always helping her friends.
Oh, yeah.
Because so far, the only character trait her friends have is that they all have terrible problems. One of them is being bullied, the other is going blind.
Yeah. And Harvey's haunted by the devil in the mines.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point if they say that this kid's name is like Damien and he's going to be like the Antichrist or something.
He
No,
looks like
no, this kid is a ghost.
Oh, okay, got it.
He's a ghost of one of the kids that was killed by the harrowing.
no, but you're right. It's like the little kid from Omen. Even the same kind of haircut.
Yeah, he does look like him.
Oh yeah, I died. Here's me. Here's my grave. Groundskeeper. His name was Freddy Krueger. And still, the parents send their kids here, even though the school kills kids. That's well, they're worshiping the devil. So,
Yeah.
oh, this is a cool shot, though. This is cool. Very unsettling.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's the only one who can see those ghosts, or if other kids know about them too.
Yeah, they can see them also.
She's reading another newspaper, Ron.
Yeah, reading the newspaper and smoking.
Yeah.
You know that show Married with Kids?
No, not familiar with it.
You mean Married with Children?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to know it by a Portuguese name, so I was just kind of
okay.
translating it. Yeah, like every single episode where the guy is reading a newspaper, it's always the same newspaper. It's that stock newspaper that shows up in all sorts of TV shows, and I don't
He's
think
reading
that's
the same issue.
Yeah. Someone came up with like a collage of all of the screenshots of him reading the paper, and how they point out it's always the same paper.
Huh.
In this case, I don't think that's the same paper, but yeah. It's like so much for after being a witch, you don't care so much about, the mortal life concerns. So why would she be reading papers? Maybe she's reading a witch paper.
Yeah,
Just
that
like-
could be.
Yeah, that could
Like
be
the
it.
Hogwarts had a paper that had moving images. Hmm. That fox should come back to life and start snarling at the headmaster.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I did to my familiar. Turn it into a stole. We never see her aunt's familiars, do we? Do they have any animals?
Yeah, yes. She has
has a
she has a dog, and Hilda has spiders.
Oh, geez.
What's that painting?
The spiders they used to torture the principal were her familiar.
Oh, yeah. Balky, yeah.
Yeah.
Principal Balky.
Right.
I'm going to call him.
Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, there they are. Hey, we're all the lawsuits the school never had.
Yeah.
Yeah, witches hurting witches. It's been what's been going on since this show started.
Yeah.
So much for like witches liking other witches. Like, let's move them into our pet cemetery. Oh, what a surprise. She was harried by Zelda. They seem to be getting along really well, despite the fact that Zelda smashed her head in with a shovel and a hammer.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just sisters,
You're right. Well, and their relationship improves over the course of this series.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I hope that Hilda gets to have some sort of payback on Zelda, but
Yeah.
it feels like if she did that, Zelda would not be happy at all. That would not go down.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So the kid's dad is actually the owner of the mine?
Yeah, Harvey's dad owns the mine. Harvey's dad wants him to work in the mine, and he's too scared.
I wonder what they mine down there. They never say that. Call your parents instead of calling other kids from your class.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're out of town at that expo. The
Oh
one
my
that
gosh.
Sabrina's pretending to be at.
Hi, sir. Would you mind twisting your head back the other way?
Yeah.
And vomiting green.
Pea soup.
Pea soup, yeah.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
Oh God.
Oh God. He stayed that way because he played one of Ozzy Osbourne's albums backwards.
Right.
Oh God. That's
Wasn't that a thing? Like,
Yeah.
oh, heavy metal, if you play it backward, it says,
Yeah.
I am the devil and the devil is good.
Yeah.
And then you play it backwards, all you can hear is like rip, zip, lip, dip, lip, zip, lip, dip, lip. Holy crap. What, is he wearing long johns?
Yeah.
yeah. Got
Oh
really
my God.
dirty long johns, probably
Yeah.
stained with urine and feces.
Clunk. Yeah, there's definitely a retro vibe to this. This is like a place kind of hard to make establish what sort of decade this is supposed to be because there's
Yeah.
smartphones, but then there's old payphones and people wearing long johns and there.
And all the cars are old too.
Yeah. They're witch cars.
And they have blackboards, they don't have whiteboards, and there's bookshelves full of old dusty books.
I guess that witch school doesn't get funding that often, I guess. The devil could afford to give that school a little more money.
So this is the first time we ever see Zelda feeling any remorse for the way she treats Hilda.
Yeah.
I have to say, for all the power that these witches are supposed to have and all that, her aunts seem very powerless and stuck in a situation. They're not happy at all. So much for like the life of a witch. It seems like they just spend all their time like sad and in the same house and not doing much. When they could actually rule the world if they wanted, if they have this power and stuff,
Yeah.
they could take over the world.
But they don't
It's like,
care
no.
about the mortal world.
Well, what do they care?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it would be hard to be immortal.
Yeah. Just saying they don't seem to affect a lot of change in the world. Yeah, at this point, Sabrina, if she can walk out and go talk to her aunts, I would just go back home and not go back to the school.
Yeah.
I don't know why she keeps
Yeah.
staying there.
She fights back.
And she kind of plays along with everything, even though she knows it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Well, she's determined that she wants to learn how to be a good witch so she can destroy devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would draw the line of getting a noose put in my neck.
Yeah.
Those women prostitute have a cat. I never.
She looks like Jada Pickett Smith. That one.
Yeah,
That's
Mhm.
who she reminds me of.
yeah. I have a prediction that she's going to eventually become like the leading student in the college, and I think they're trying to make her into being like, oh, she's going to be the future head and mistress of the school, and she's going to change everything and reform everything.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, no. No. Hey, it's that game they play, light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Did not see that one coming.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like I said, harrowing of any kind will no longer be tolerated.
You should tell that to your headmaster.
Yeah.
Hello, governor. I used to sell newspapers in the corner until I became a witch.
Read all about it.
Yeah. Harrowing witches get their comeuppance. Read all about it.
Yeah.
See, there's that blur vignette again.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I kept thinking if I were Sabrina, I would want to kick one of them in the face.
Someone should cut the Kung Fu Cowboys from Inferno into this scene.
God.
Did it really work?
No, they no.
No, let's just forget about him, yeah, altogether.
Yeah, but whenever she gets herself out of some sort of situation so far, she's always had help from someone. Like,
Yeah.
and then she just acts all tough, but it's like, without the kids, she would have been harrowed.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
her power is sympathy for other people and helping people, and she picks
Yeah, I
up
could
friends
see
along
that.
the way.
Call your parents.
Yeah.
Like, who
No,
cleans
they're-
your uncle?
they're
Who
too-
takes him to the bathroom? Who feeds him? Do you just leave him there closed in the room? How many days are the parents going to be out?
They're at that expo. I wonder what the expo is, too. Is it like just some kind of giant flea market or what? Because,
It seems like it was going to be an expo for like crafts and artisanal stuff because
Yeah.
they were talking about how Aunt Hilda's taking the honey to the expo.
yeah.
This is a terrible babysitter for an adult male.
Yeah. Especially one that's possessed.
Yep.
But she said that most of the time he's unconscious. So they would think, yeah, probably nothing's going to happen.
Oh my God, they tied him to the bed.
Yeah.
Jesus, at least put a blanket on top of his crotch.
Yeah, I don't care to see that.
That man needs medical attention.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the church of
Yeah.
Hey,
Church of Satan.
did you happen to get into the details of the case for that whole thing?
Yeah, it was an undisclosed amount that they settled on,
Oh, okay.
and I think they were suing for like $45 million or something like that. I don't know.
I'm sure they settled for much less.
Yeah, my bet is still some $1 million must have switched hands there.
And probably the next season they'll be in the credits.
Yeah, either that or they're gonna have some episode where the statue cracks and we're gonna have to replace it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past the
Yeah.
producers to do that. You know.
Do you remember the show Valerie? And then she got in a fight with the producers, and then the character Valerie died in a fire, and it became the Hogan family.
No, I haven't.
It had Jason Bateman in it.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember that. You're right.
Well,
And
they
there-
did the same for Roseanne, I guess.
Yeah.
Roseanne died of a opioid overdose, and now it's just her family.
And there was even they even like pulled up a picture, and the picture was burned, and they're like, we don't even have any pictures of her anymore. Like, that's pretty cold.
Yeah.
They got really mad at that woman, huh? So they
Mhm.
just really.
Yeah, she wanted more money, and they said no.
Okay.
Where did the show go after that? Did the show continue, or
I
was it
think
just?
it lasted like maybe 2 more seasons, and then it was over.
Oh, that's actually pretty good for them taking out the main character, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, just tell her that she had all the help from all the kids that you guys
Yeah.
killed at the school. I'm actually getting into the show. I mean, I'm finding myself. I'm sorry if I'm not saying much, but I am actually getting into the hang of this show. I find myself watching it instead of commenting on it.
Yeah, that's what happened to us last time too.
That's the first
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess she's at the house of the woman she killed.
Right. Yeah.
And she's
Doing some kind of voodoo spells and
those nails.
And collecting the teacher's paychecks.
Yeah.
right.
What's that? That's a Clive Barker painting in the background. I love that painting.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
I've never
Okay, so
seen it.
so she put spit on the mirror, but I haven't seen anything really happening yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
there
that
we
she
go.
can see into the other mirror that she put spit on.
Oh, I see. It's like the communicating closet in the Harry Potter thing, where you walk into one closet and you come out the other one. Yeah, that red painting back there, is that Clive Barker's painting?
Oh. Oh. It sure looks like one, doesn't it?
Yeah. They should have a Terry Cat painting in this. That would
Yeah,
that would
that'd
be
be-
great.
Yeah.
They could say it was some familiar.
I did read where Clive Barker's paintings were. He's going to be continuing to help with this, into the second season as well. So,
That's going to be awesome.
yeah.
I see a lot of influences in this show. A lot of little nods to several
Yeah.
horror seasons and shows, and like the box. This just looks like Laurie waking up and looking at the box and being like,
Yeah.
I mean, not Laurie, but Kirsty.
Kirsty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kirsty.
Yeah. Also, I get a big vibe from that cartoon show. What's it called? There's two kids that go live with their uncle in the middle of the woods, and he has like a funny house full of like offbeat things. It's called
Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls. Yes, thank you. They come across these books that have secrets, and they open them up, and there's diaries and stuff. Talk about all the weird things that exist in the woods.
Rob, did you say Gravity Falls?
No, I did not.
Oh, did somebody whisper that to you, Jose?
Yeah, Sarah did.
Okay, I was like, what was that?
I guess I should have said my black cat whispered it to me. That would have been better. What keeps moving in there? It's like a satanic magic 8-ball. Oh, is that going to be her mom?
Yes.
Looks suspiciously like a cartoon character.
Right, yeah, maybe modeled after the comic book.
Okay, so now she's at her aunt's place again, right? So she's
Yeah.
no longer at the school.
Right, she's back home.
So she comes home every once in a while to sleep at her aunt's place, apparently.
I think she's only there on weekends.
Oh,
Now
okay.
it's like her new half and half life.
Zool.
Yeah, yeah, this is quite the cliffhanger ending.
What?
And the shaking doorknob kind of reminds me of the house on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, and she meets Rawhead Rex at the end of this episode. So
Yeah.
see
Okay.
what happens.
Watch credits.
Yeah.
Oh,
They only,
shucks.
they only give you
I
5
missed it.
seconds to do it.
Yeah, I missed it. I'm already watching
That's
episode
okay. I got
5.
it, so we'll know how long it lasts. Actually, they don't last very long. They're only like maybe a minute or so.
Yeah, that's the thing about Netflix is that sometimes some of the shows, their episodes don't always have the same duration. Some of them are a little longer than others, a few minutes here and there. So
Yeah.
that's interesting that they can do that because, hey, it's their platform. They can make the episodes whatever they want.
If I were making a TV show for Netflix, I would totally do what the Dark Ditties, what they did is, put something important at the end of the credits, and then they won't auto skip your credits.
Right. Well, I hope that we get to see her do some more like impressive stuff.
Yeah.
So far, like I said, seems like she gets the upper hand in certain situations, but she always has had help so far. So I want to see her
Yeah.
actually come on her own. With solutions. That would be good.
Yeah.
I think Episode 5 probably my favorite because I've watched the next out of 7, episode 7, and I think episode 5 was been my favorite one so far. So it's pretty good.
Dreams in a Witch House. So that's going to be cool. So that was a demon at the end, right?
It looked like it. Yes. Yeah, right. And I think that I think the next episode kind of features him more.
All right, that's cool. So this was episodes 3 and 4 of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah.
And you can find this on Netflix, and we're gonna go through the whole thing. We're gonna be pointing out all these Clive Barker paintings here and there, and try to come up with some interesting commentary on the episodes.
Yeah, and it was fun. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It happens when you record 2 episodes at the same time. That day I was out. I was actually in Prescott celebrating my anniversary, and it's nice to be back. I'm looking forward to doing the rest of the Sabrina show.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And so we'll continue to do these every other week, and then we'll have news episodes in between. And once we get done with Sabrina, we'll be talking about Abarat, Days of Magic, Nights of War. So actually, I should probably get started on reading that.
Yep. What did you guys like best about the show so far? I like the costumes, like all the set dressing and set design. I think the photography is cool, although I'm not super on board with the blurry stuff and the sides of the shot.
I like the soundtrack and the sound design. I think the best.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy.
Yeah, it is.
I like the lead actress who plays Sabrina.
She is really good, isn't she?
And I like the whole, I guess the art design of having showing old old horror movies and the posters and things like that. I love just those kind of things.
And you really have to watch for Clive Barker's art, because my first run through this series, I didn't see it at all, and I was getting sucked into the show, but it's also kind of blurry in the background, and it's really subtle. It's not like The Last Movie Star, right, where that was featured super prominently and impossible to miss.
Yeah, but I think it adds to the climate of the whole show, because you see all these weird visions that all share the same style, because they all come from Clive Barker, and I think it really gives the show's identity a very interesting vibe, a very interesting seasoning, if you will, to the design of the show. So I think it was a great choice of them, and I'm glad to see Clive's art going more mainstream in like shows and stuff like that. So that's really good.
Yeah. All right. Well, in this podcast having no beginning will have no end. You can find the show notes for this episode and join the discussion over at www.clivebarkercast.com, where we have news, features, reviews, and links to all the ways you can connect with us. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts and every other place you can find podcasts. Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial podcast and news blog that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Inc. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans.
Thanks for listening.